Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
All right. Let's start with the transfer portal today. I was kind of hoping you'd enter your name.
They're still too busy trying to court the quarterbacks. I got a long list.
The last thing you expected on this show is that response.
I sat on Santa's lap. I said, I'm entering the transfer portal. He looked at me and said, son, get off my lap.
You know what's interesting is that, as usual, the hot commodity in the transfer portal, of course, quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, it's all based on need. Last year, Michigan needed offensive linemen, got a couple out of the portal, ended up starting for them. Penn State, you saw Johnny Dixon put his name in today for the Senior Bowl. Fabulous transfer in for Penn State. He played so well. Chop Robinson, fabulous transfer in for Penn State, played really well. But the quarterbacks are always the hot commodity. So Tyler Van Dyke yesterday announced that he is going to go to Wisconsin. And I took a moment to think about this. Dylan Gabriel's going to Oregon. DJ is going to visit Florida State coming up. Kyle McCord, I guess, has visited Nebraska, or else is in the process of doing it now. Then we'll see what Cam Ward wants to do. You look at the Heisman finalists. Michael Penix, transfer from Indiana. Now, that was in part because Kalen DeBoer was the head coach. He had been Penix's quarterback coach and offensive coordinator at Indiana. Bo Nix went to Oregon. Dillingham had been his quarterback coach at Auburn. He was able to get him to go to Oregon when Dillingham took the job at Oregon. Now he's the head coach at Arizona State. And Daniels, of course, started his career, skinny kid, playing at Arizona State, graduated, by the way, in 3 years, and, of course, won the Heisman at LSU. And last year's winner was Caleb Williams, who transferred from Oklahoma to USC. But for the most part, I'm looking at the list of guys that are out there. Cam Ward, very good. Uh-huh. I mean, very, very good. I think Cam Ward may be of that group the best of the group.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if you're talking about the portal, I would put him number one, too.
That's just me.
I agree.
But I'm looking at all of it, and I said to myself, what would I rather have? Would I rather have Drew Aller and Bo Perbula or somebody in the portal? And there's no way in heck I want anybody in the portal over these guys.
Nope.
I'm a big believer still that you can develop your own people and then out of need and necessity saying, okay, where right now do we need a little help? Chop Robinson. Need a little help. Derek Tangelo need a little help. All right. Johnny Dixon needed a little help at the corner spot at that time. Mitchell Tinsley needs some help at wide receiver. Dante Cephas. Where do you need some help? Trey Potts could not have been a better fit in that running back spot. Hunter Norzad. Yep. All right. So at Penn State, and you notice the top programs are the ones that do it that way.
Yeah, and the way to me it should be done.
Right.
Yeah.
The top programs do it the way Penn State does. So now back to the quarterback part, which is the hot commodity. You can have and play multiple running backs. You can have and play multiple wide receivers. You can have and play every other position on the field except for one, and that's quarterback. So Tyler Van Dyke is going to transfer from Miami to Wisconsin. Now, for Wisconsin, that's a big move. But remember, Tanner Mordecai was the answer to everything last year as the transfer. And I started thinking about the transfers out there. Now, DJ went from Clemson to Oregon State, and everybody's proclaimed, well, hey, he did really well there. He hit 57% of his passes. In today's game, if you're under 60, that's to me the equivalent of being below the Mendoza line. Right? And you look at other guys. Okay. Now, see, Quinn Ewers to me doesn't count because of the NIL rules, he couldn't go to Texas right away, so he went and he used Ohio State for a year, then he went to Texas. So to me, that was, he's a transfer. Yeah, technically, but the NIL rules and because of the reclassification, he couldn't go to Texas right away. All right. But you look at other places and other guys. Was Hudson Card the answer at Purdue? Was Peyton Thorne the answer at Auburn? You start going through the long list of guys along the way. That were they the answer? Was it an upgrade? And look at all the guys that had transferred in to play quarterback at Northwestern. They weren't. Look at the guys that have transferred into Illinois.
No.
I mean, was Altmaier the answer? No. Paddock, played pretty well down the stretch, and he also was a transfer out of Ball State.
Played well down the stretch because the first guy you mentioned didn't play well.
Right.
I think that's
was Cade McNamara the answer at Iowa? You start going through all these guys. Was Sims the answer at Nebraska?
Yeah.
No. Now, Tagovailoa was the answer at Maryland because he transferred in from Alabama.
And there'll be more. Obviously, Riley Leonard will be another one.
Riley Leonard. But I'm looking at the people in the transfer portal. Do I want Drew Aller and Bo Perbula, or do I want the guys in the transfer portal? There's no way I want anybody in the transfer portal at quarterback. And that's the one that has
it's different.
See, that's what I find it's interesting about this, because it's the position that is the great focal point.
Yeah,
there's no getting around. And again, I pointed out all the points of the Penn State football team where they've been selective as to who's helped, who can make a difference, and so forth. Quarterback's been interesting because Penn State has not dipped its toe into the transfer portal at quarterback. Now, some people thought they might a couple of years ago, but didn't. And the ability to develop your own people is still, to me, the paramount way to do it. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. That's why the transfer portal's there, so you can be selective about it. But so many quarterbacks, look at this. These are Heisman finalists. You are correct in saying
that's right. Yeah.
But the pool is this deep.
Yeah.
With quarterbacks available. And that's why when you look at the pool being that deep, you have to ask yourself, like the bunch that didn't work out. Now, Jackson Dart has worked out at Ole Miss.
Worked out at Ole Miss, absolutely. Yep. Sanders
is his backup, who was at Oklahoma State all those years. But Sanders isn't playing because Dart beat him out. Look at Milroe. Developed by Alabama. Remember, Buckner went down there, and everybody thought, because Tommy Reese was there, he'd get the job. Nope. What's Georgia done? Georgia's developed their own guys. Now, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out moving forward, especially in the 12-team playoff era. But J.J. McCarthy is homegrown. Penix, transfer. Okay. Ewers is technically a transfer, okay? That's why that one, I'm like, I can't buy totally into that. Milroe is not. So to me, those are 3 out of 4, all right? Then you get outside of it, and the 5 team is what? Florida State.
Florida State, yeah.
Right? Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have Georgia, homegrown. Bo Nix at Oregon, transfer. Kyle McCord, and I know he's in the portal now, but he was homegrown. Cook at Missouri is homegrown.
Yeah.
Drew Aller and Bo Perbula at Penn State, homegrown. Dart's a transfer. The Liberty kid, I have no idea. I think he's homegrown. Right? The vast majority of them are homegrown quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that's what if you look at what you look at everything that has gone on in college sports. And, of course, the transfer portal is a big one. NIL's big as well. But I think everybody's searching for solutions.
Yep.
In other words, I'm Indiana. I need a solution, so I bring in Connor Bazelak, for example. I'm not putting down Connor Bazelak, right? Because a lot of it depends on who you have to work around you. But then you say to yourself, okay, is he the solution? Well, it turned out he wasn't. Right? Was Hudson Card the solution at Purdue? No. Was Jeff Sims the solution at Nebraska? No. Was Altmaier the solution at Illinois? No. And it's like, holy man, you look at one after another. Look at all the guys Rutgers ran through. Right? Now, Wimsatt's their quarterback, and he's a homegrown guy. And that's something that is that I don't blame teams for looking for because they're trying to find an answer at a critical position. And if they feel it's an upgrade, I mean, Tyler Van Dyke probably is an upgrade at Wisconsin. If DJU went to Florida State, would he be an upgrade? He would not be an upgrade.
Not right now.
But he might be better than what they have coming back, as Travis isn't coming back.
McCord, I think, would be an upgrade if he goes to Nebraska.
Maybe, except their offensive line is okay.
Awful. Yeah, it's not good.
And he needs a good offensive line to make plays. Right? That's what I find interesting about the fit or the lack thereof. But you're finding, I realized who the Heisman finalists were this year. I got it. There's only one homegrown guy in the Heisman finalists, and it happened to be Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver.
I think it goes two ways. I can understand the argument that, the portal's working clearly when it comes to quarterback. I understand that because it's shown in a few places. Absolutely. I lean more towards the way Penn State does it. I think that's the way to do it. Great. Somebody didn't want to hear my portal.